Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. It's Monday, 7th of May. It's a little after 10 on a Monday. And I apologize for being this late, but it was either this time or no time at all. These are busy days, as you know. Let's jump in and see who's out there.
If you can look as far as I see, within this great land we call TNT, there's birds and bees, rivers and seas, pretty woman bringing man to their knees. Treasures of this blessed land we always neglect like ISO and pan. I find it so strange the way we arrange. Still this nation don't know how to change. For some change it might just mean a new car. Change could mean less than $1. To most change have this nice scent we usually get from the government. You see, change is something we always say, but every time we change things remain the same way. Things keep getting worse and worse, so this is what I propose. Let's change the change for a better nation. Change the change for all foundations. Change the change so that we could say that this nation here came from quite down there. I say change the change within the school systems. Stop changing ministers and change what we teach them. But things won't change despite all we do if change doesn't start with you. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If murders, killings galore, so much gunmen fighting meaningless war. I can't tell you stay, can't tell you go, cause this still the land we used to know. Homeless, every corner you meet, and they complimented by our dirty streets. Then we wonder why, in our sister eye, why they don't like Trinis to come and spend time. Well, you see, change is much more than paving a whole road, and change is greater than fixing a lamp pole. Change is about the whole nation and how we are portrayed when the party done. Who set the standards in my TNT? I really wish somebody here could tell me. It's just the same thing again and again, like we leaders don't use the brain. So change the change within our country. Change the change so the whole world could see. Change the change for a better future, so we don't have to depend on our next mayor. I say change the change within the society. Otherwise we'll have a bandit factory. But things won't change despite all we do if change doesn't start with you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In our youth, we leave all the weight, cause in most leaders, we done lost faith. They full of such greed. Oh Father, I plead, please Lord have some mercy on their seeds. Cause the youth are trying their best, but they're born in this place of lies and commerce. So eventually, when things get heavy, chances are they might turn out just like we. But you see, change could put an end to all this foolishness, and could break this chain link of sadness. Change could help our leaders to grow and start preparing youths for tomorrow. Don't see change as something timely, and start seeing change as your duty. To stop them from hurting one day is we have to point the way. So change the change for better transparency. Change the change for better economy. Change the change so no man one day will take we money and just fly away. I say for young Calypsonians, and stop saying culture is in good hands. But things won't change despite all we do if change doesn't start with you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Healthy turnout for so late. I apologize. It's just, these days are just ridiculously long. But I know it's a Monday night. We did a nice video last night, got some good numbers. But I know it's a Monday night and people looking out to see what we're discussing. And tonight, we have to discuss stuff. We have to discuss stuff because I almost called the video, God Bless Social Media. Social media is changing this country. Without social media, people like me couldn't do what I do. Social media is king. Social media is the key to our change. God bless social media. And I need to say that. And I want to say too that some of the things that people are accepting now, they have to start to take responsibility. You hear what he's saying in that song? This boy, Helen Francis, I listened to the words of that song. And some of the things, I swear, I know. Those are my words. And I know we either touching the same fountain in the consciousness, or Helen Francis is a fan. I hear my words. And the point I want to make is, it's not enough now to just talk. It's not enough. I don't want to be entertainment. If we're not educating, if we're not empowering, if we're not changing the game, we could done. Listen, PNM and UNC sitting down hoping that at some point we get tired. You know? At some point we just get fed up. And there are some things that I want to show you. And they're all on my wall. So if you're following my wall, they're there. This one. And it's to find it as usual, and as usual I apologize. I said today, very rarely do we get unbiased articles written about Phillip Alexander and the PEP in the mainstream media. So rare, in fact. The one that I shared today was written in June 2017, last year. It was written last year. 11 months have passed since this article in the PEP universe. And I want you to hear what the columnist Ryan Hadid wrote. Among the pantheon of historical figures, few names inspire, and I'm only reading this because it's almost a year old. So we have this as an opportunity, an unbiased view of us from outside, and we have this as something from which to take stock. When Ryan Hadid wrote this in June, the PEP had just launched in January, February, March, April, May, June, 5 months. And his article took us as a fledgling party and a fledgling movement. We know, almost a year later, since that article was written, we have to look and see what kind of ground did we cover. I'll share the article in the thread again for you all, what I'm about to read, those who would like to follow it themselves. I shared it today on my wall, and this is what he said last year. Among the pantheon of historical figures, few names inspire more fascination than Alexander III of Macedon, known colloquially as Alexander the Great. By age 33, his extensive military campaigns had conquered most of the known world. However, classical academia teaches that it was his father, King Philip II, who paved the way for young Alex's successes. Despite the deserved reputation of being a ruthless warlord, Philip was also a visionary who reformed the Macedonian army and subjugated the Greek city-states, establishing a hegemonic alliance to support the invasion of Persia. Their achievements were the results of careful planning and the shared ambition of forging a new empire for the benefit of human civilization. I am reminded of these towering personalities for the past few weeks. I have been coming across their names in the combined form of Philip Edward Alexander, self-proclaimed social activist and founder of the recently registered Progressive Empowerment Party, PEP. Mr. Alexander has been in the public eye for a while now and is connected to a number of noteworthy ventures. He helped found the humanitarian Jericho Project, lobbied for the construction of the traffic bypass at Four Roads, and ran as an independent candidate for the Diego Martin West seat in the 2015 election. Though his bid to enter the political realm was unsuccessful, he remains undeterred in making it his new career path and has been slowly building up a support base, holding cottage meetings and organizing the infrastructure for his new party. Although the PEP is still in its infancy, with few resources at its disposal, its greatest asset is Mr. Alexander's commitment to getting his message out to the masses. To that end, he's bypassed the traditional media outlets and has taken to hosting nightly live broadcasts on his Facebook page. These sessions, usually lasting an hour, begins with voicing outrage against the government, transitions to presenting plans on fixing our country, and ends with a short call-in segment. I will admit to listening every so often, paying close attention to the number of people tuning in, average 400 or 500, as well as the comments that are made on the accompanying thread. Enthusiastic as the participants may be, it's still too early to label any of them likely PEP voters, but at the very least, they are definitely interested in hearing what he has to say. When it comes to the choice of governance, TNT's electorate is caught between a rock and a hard place. In a comparison between the current PNM administration and the past stewardship of the UNC, both have proven themselves to be equally disappointing. But what makes this situation worse is the knowledge that we can expect no better, and the constant cycling from one party to the other negates any chance of achieving meaningful and lasting progress. In a previous column printed on February 28th, I briefly mentioned Mr. Alexander and the PEP, suggesting that his crowds may be small, but what he does have on his side is time. There is the possibility that as the dissatisfaction with the political status quo continues to grow, more and more voters will desperately look to third-party options, no matter who is leading it or what it stands for, which could even include the post-partnership COP, now a mere shadow of what it once was. Anyone who has ever watched a parliamentary debate knows our MPs spend most of their time either criticizing a policy or having to defend it. This is where being an outsider puts Mr. Alexander in an advantageous position. He can self-righteously criticize both parties while not having any political track record to defend. That being said, some of his proposals do have merit, but as we've seen with past governments, the problem lies with implementation. It would be naive of Mr. Alexander to think that all he needs to fix Trinidad and Tobago is the will and a few good ideas. And that's something voters need to take into account before throwing their support behind the Progressive Empowerment Party or any other third party. As with the wave of political populism that has swept the United States and Europe, fiery rhetoric, grandiose promises, and the blame game are all effective tools when it comes to getting elected. We've had our hopes crushed too many times by phony leadership, and the last thing we need, especially now, is more of the same from someone different. Much like the Macedonian conquest of Persia by the famed father-son duo, solving the multitude of problems facing Trinidad and Tobago will neither be a quick nor easy undertaking. The move forward is going to be wrought with stiff resistance, pushing against archaic systems that are steeped in corruption and inefficiency. Thus far, the PNM and UNC seem disinterested in fighting the necessary battles, legislative or otherwise, for the sake of a better country. The PEP might have very little presence on the political landscape, but if it does become a force to be reckoned with, we can only hope that Phillip Edward Alexander turns out to be a leader worthy of his namesakes. Now, I am not taking that article apart. He had some inconsistencies. He spoke about, and I'm wearing my Jericho Project shirt. Jericho Project has done massive work in social activism for the 25 years that it's alive. He mentioned the fact that I was responsible for the Diego Martin highway bypass, which has saved billions of dollars that were lost to countless thousands of hours for the tens of thousands of residents of all of Diego Martin, PT Valley, Westmoreland, and everywhere in the West that used to suffer because of that little gap in 4 roads where everything had to pass. So I do have a political track record to defend, and I know that having a track record, having not ever had political office is an advantage. And we are going to accomplish more. We are going to bring this kiss-baking company lawlessness to an end, or get the government to set a precedent that everybody who wants to sell illegally can now do so because of Kisquelo. We are going to pursue this global medical response ambulance contract as far as we have to go, even if it needs to reach the Privy Council. And we're going to say that even if, and I'm saying this for them to hear, because I know that they follow my videos, their lawyer especially, I want them to understand, even if they fix everything now, even if they put the 75 ambulances on the road at every time and roster them as they are contracted to do, even if they do that now, we are suing you on behalf of all of the people who lost their lives when you didn't, when you were contractually obligated to. And we want the courts to recognize the rights of those citizens. And we're going to prove the point that what we stand on is deliverable. When we tell Trinidad and Tobago, something as simple as this, we keep bringing into the national conversation. You saw Massey. Massey put out a release today that's a little bit too little, too late. And I responded to Massey briefly, and I put out my own release. And I said, because Massey is trying to spin this, we can't have that. And I'm saying to the population, because you know why Massey had to put out this release today? Massey under pressure. The Massey stores in the West under pressure. I have been getting feedback because when I said that Massey Starlight empty, people asked for video. I went and get a video today. I've been getting feedback that it's not just Starlight, that Petty Valley empty, Westmoreland's empty. I was in Massey Starlight Saturday. Saturday is grocery shopping day in Trinidad. And I bought my couple things because I went to get soap powder, soap liquid. And I was able to walk right up to a cash register. And all the others were practically empty. The store was empty. Massey in trouble. Massey know they're in trouble. And that's what caused them to put out that release today. And this is not personal. The vehicle I had before that I'm selling right now is a Nissan, bought from Massey. The vehicle I just bought brand new, less than a month ago, I bought it, a Nissan from Massey. I still shop sometimes in Massey. Massey can't say this is personal for me. This is an issue of what we do and the precedents we set in and what we're allowing to take place that's destroying our country. And everybody needs to understand that. And all the people who are trying to make these things personal, who take in these things personally, kiss my ass. I don't care. It is far too long that we have allowed the media in this country, and you're going to hear that in another issue that I had to raise again tonight. Today I had to put out 2 releases. This is the first one. And it followed on Massey's release. And I was upset by what Gervais Warner, Chief Executive Officer of the Massey Group, allowed his name to be pegged to. Because I'm going to take it up with him. He is now responsible. And I said, it is easy to fool who want to be fooled. Massey is wrapping half-salvaged rotten fruit and vegetables for customers in enough plastic wrap to choke a whale, but fooling people about saving the environment. Miss me with all of that bullshit. Start in-store and clean up your own act, so when you reach the cash register, we can be right there with you. Don't put all of the responsibility to clean up the environment on the customers and hold all the benefits and profits for yourself with your environment polluting bags. Plus, and this is the hardest to swallow, Massey is the most expensive supermarket in Trinidad and Tobago, buying in the largest volumes at the lowest prices and further benefiting from advertising and support in-store just to house those goods on their shelves. You have to understand what advertising and promotion is. All brands that could sell in Massey, 99% of the products that are on shelves, come with something built in called advertising and promotion. It is a percentage of the value of the product. And it is paid to stores so that they can put up little signs and they could buy preferred shelf space at eye level or gondola end, or to put up signs in the stores and shelf talkers, and all of that advertising and promotion is paid to Massey. More importantly, Massey gets 60 to 90 days, sometimes 120 days credit from these people. That means Massey holds money from sales for 100 days and earns all of the interest on that money in Massey's financial accounting. Worse again, because of the bulk Massey buys in, Massey dictates price. You go to Massey and Massey asks you, because I know I was in this business, and Massey tells you the price that they will pay you for your product if you want to get on their shelf. Massey gets the lowest prices, gets all of the advertising and promotion support, and then marks it up the highest of any grocery in Trinidad and Tobago. So that means Massey's profit margin is huge, and I said this. Their profit margins are stratospheric, and it's the same customers who have them living large, they want to pressure further. Massey could have had the biggest plastic offenders pony up and pay for reusable bags, as shown in the picture, which I have a picture of a Massey reusable bag, and benefited from the goodwill and the advertising. Or they could have simply given completely biodegradable bags made from hemp, wood pulp, or sugarcane bags, the technology for which are already here, and absorbed the additional cost. Printer Pack doing this now. As said, we won't wake everyone. Those who want to be fooled or are willing to take pieces of silver to fool others, those we have to leave behind. Massey got caught in a straight up profiteering stunt and are now trying to spin it. Miss us with that. Do better, Massey. And that's my point to Massey. Do better. Massey, you have the opportunity here to bring the price of food down. Do better. Massey, you have the opportunity here to dictate the plastics that come into your store and dictate to the suppliers that they change the packaging to biodegradable or environmentally friendly. Do better, Massey. Lower your own carbon footprint inside the store before coming to dictate to the customers about the bags they take in your bullshit home in. Because it is ridiculous, hypocritical, and self-deluding to walk to any grocery with a reusable bag and fill it with environmental degrading and polluting plastics. I will not be letting this go, Massey. Gervais Warner, I will not be letting this go. I want to say, Gervais, Massey is the largest single retailer in Trinidad and Tobago, which means Massey is the largest polluter of plastics. So the responsibility on Massey is greater than anybody else. If you want our support, you have to clean up your own act. Otherwise, Mr. Switchy bullshit. And that had to dovetail with a release that was put out by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. And I want you to hear this release. Media release, May 7th, 2018. TT, $34.72 million in cocaine seized at Piaco International Airport. 5 persons are expected to appear before an Arima magistrate today, jointly charged with possession of 38.8 kilograms of cocaine for the purpose of trafficking, which have an estimated street value of $34.72 million. Marlon Ricardo Thomas, 45, a laborer of Sawa, along with Crystal Biru, 24, of Trin City, and Maurice Edward Hines, 27, of Aruca, both employed with Swissport. To be employed with Swissport, that means you sit on a chair in a little cubicle in Long Circular Mall, one of them little booths. That's what they sell it. As well as Kyle Jones, 23, of Sangre Grande, and Kedir Lee Gomez, 27, of Carapo, both employed with Intercept Security, were arrested and subsequently charged after the drugs were found concealed in 2 suitcases at Piaco International Airport on Sunday, 29 April 2018. I want you to listen to all of the inconsistencies in this release, you know. Listen to it. The suitcases were to be loaded on Caribbean Airlines flight BW520 destined for New York around 10:45 p.m. on the same day. The suitcases contained 38 and 39 packets of cocaine, weighing 42.88 and 43.92 kilograms of the drug, respectively. The accused were charged on Sunday, 6 May 2018, following investigations by the Organized Crime and Intelligence Unit, Corporate Communications Unit, no signature, no name, May 7, 2018. Right? Now, they held them jointly charged with possession of 38.8 kilograms of cocaine. That is the first paragraph. Second to last paragraph says the suitcases contained 38 and 39 packets of cocaine, weighing 42.88 and 43.92 kilograms of the drug respectively. Now, 96 kilograms, if you add those two up roughly, but you charge them for the possession of 38.8 kilograms. Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, what is wrong with these numbers? What's wrong with that? You've charged these people, the first paragraph, 5 persons expected to appear before an Arima Magistrate Court today, jointly charged with the possession of 38.8 kilograms of cocaine for the purpose of trafficking. But the suitcases contained 38 and 39 packets of cocaine, weighing 42.88 and 43.92 kilograms of the drug respectively. What went on here? Who wrote this release? 5 paragraphs and your arithmetic so badly off. You have 2 suitcases, both of which have more cocaine than the first number that you gave us. Each of the suitcases, one had 42.88 kilograms and one had 43.92 kilograms, but you've charged them for being in possession with 38.8 kilograms. So, we need to know, was your arithmetic wrong? Was the arrest flawed? Or did somebody take half the cocaine for themselves? Throw that aside. I responded on the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service release on social media. And I asked them, I said, Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, do you really expect us to believe that those 5 sufferers named could have afforded $35 million in cocaine to ship? A laborer of Samoa, 2 store customer service representatives, and 2 security guards. 5 people. Between them, they can afford half of 1% of $34 million. Security guards are paid notoriously bad in Trinidad and Tobago. When a police officer writes on your job employment, laborer, that is the last thing before bandit. That's the last thing before bandit. Laborer is the lowest according to law enforcement in this country. What you don't do that at all, you write laborer. You ever pick up something, you ever put it back down like labor, we write laborer. I'm very concerned that the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service put out this release. I'm even more concerned about something else. The Trinidad Express, Loop, and the rest of the media. 5 persons are expected to appear before an Arima magistrate today, jointly charged with possession of 38.8 kilograms of cocaine for the purpose of trafficking. The cocaine has an estimated street value of TT 34,720,000. According to the Express, the cocaine has an estimated, the cocaine. This is the Express newspaper. This is what is written in the Express. The cocaine, because that's how it's spelled, the cocaine has an estimated street value of 34,720,000 million. And then it goes on to say the rest of the release. And I asked the media, why are you still involved in copying and pasting bullshit? You trying to tell me nobody in the Express newsroom say these 5 sufferers are responsible for $35 million in cocaine? Where in Trinidad and Tobago, any laborer, any security guard, or any front store attendant could put their hands on $35 million? There are a couple people from John Street in Cocorit in jail today since the 90s for $600 million of cocaine found on Mona's Island. These fellas that they arrest and jail for life, if you sell them by the pound, if you take everything they own in the world and sell them too, sell their body parts, cut them up, sell the kidney, the heart, sell the eyeball, you can't make $1 million. You can't make $1 million. So how did they end up responsible for $600 million worth of cocaine? Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. And how do these 5 sufferers end up responsible? Don't get me wrong. If they're drug mules, if in 2018 they're so foolish that this is what they choose as a hustle, lost their ass in jail. But don't fool Trinidad and Tobago and pretend that they're responsible for the $35 million worth of cocaine. It's like Faris Johnny Sukaran Arawi when he stood up in the parliament and lied to this nation and said that the cocaine sent to Norfolk, Virginia had no owner. That the person who shipped it used a defunct company. 40 other people in the parliament took this bullshit from Faris, accepting this bullshit normal. In a time when if you want to ship 4 jub and a box of sugar cake to America, you have to publish point of origin, ingredients. They have to open, examine, smell, take samples, check. Since 9/11, Homeland Security and shipping to America, the game changed. You cannot ship any manifest cargo without them knowing for absolute certain who the shipper is. They also conned us into believing nobody was waiting on the other end in Norfolk, Virginia for this $600 million worth of cocaine. And that is your Attorney General. We in trouble. We in deep, dark and murky waters. Where the police could make you believe and the media tell you that 5 sufferers had $35 million worth of cocaine to ship to America. That 2 security guards, a hustling laborer, and 2 store attendants together could have make up $35 million. Faris get you to believe that the United States accepted, watch now, $600 million worth of cocaine takes up some signs. We could have shipped a nuclear bomb. We could have shipped anything. Trinidad could do, we could do magic. The entire parliament accepted that excuse. Story done. Story done. I remember reading the closing comments of the judge or the magistrate in that Mona's thing, where she said, I think it was Alice York Suhon, I can't remember, where she said, drugs were found on a property and the owners of the property weren't questioned. This is a country where a drug mule was taken to a private hospital. Surgery was performed to remove the drug packets, handed back to the mule, and everybody went their way. Now we have some bigger issues. And I want to say we're sticking a pin. But at some point, Trinidad and Tobago, you will hear how deep this river runs. When we tell you that the only solution to Trinidad and Tobago is to undo and redo it, understand? We're holding back information, They have it, we have it, you don't have it. But they know we have it. When we say undo and redo, they know why. They know why. And they're setting themselves ready. They will do everything to prevent a free and fair election where you get to choose something other than the PNM and the UNC. Because they own the PNM and the UNC. Their tentacles deep in the PNM and the UNC. Neither the PNM nor the UNC has done anything to secure the nation's borders to prevent the flow of cocaine through this country. Because the biggest question of all is, we don't grow cocaine here. So where did the $35 million worth of cocaine come from in the first place? The $600 million to pack in the SM Jaleel cans, Trinidad orange juice cans. How did that get into Trinidad? How did it get into Trinidad? The United States Drug Enforcement Agency said in the 80s in an article in the Wall Street Journal a DEA agent, was sitting on the BP Amoco platform, and he says, more watercraft passed between the South American mainland and Trinidad and Tobago than were involved in the Normandy invasion. And he was making a point that we have an unregulated coastline, open porous borders, and then we've taken our Coast Guard and hidden them away in the northwest of the country. And the problems with drugs is in the southeast of the country. It is almost as if we were trying to put the Coast Guard as far from the drugs as possible. Our helicopters are not equipped to interdict. We have no gunships. We can't shoot a boat out of the water. So a helicopter response is, they call it holes in the sky. Boss, we're making circles. We're making holes in the sky. Neither the PNM nor the UNC saw it fit to clean up the police service. They've given you enough bullshit for you to believe that the world that is capable of sending spacecraft out of our universe, that is sending back images from beyond Orion's belt, that technology is possible. But cleaning up a police service of 5,000 is beyond man's capability. That's what the PNM and the UNC would have you believe. That, boy, we want to fix it, but never first division, we don't talk to the second division, who vexed with the third division. So we're going to leave it so. It's like when Pandey told Diana Kelly, I was not responsible for Piaco, Udicott, not Udicott, NIPDEC was. But NIPDEC answers to you. NIPDEC answers to you. You control NIPDEC. You are the Prime Minister. You are corporation soul. You appoint the board. You appoint the management through the board. You determine what the company does. You are the author and the finisher of its missions. You know exactly who is doing what, where, when, why, and with who. So don't bullshit us. Manning, with his sword, was bullshitting the nation. Sword's job wasn't to lock it down. Sword's job was to lock it down conveniently. And they know that. We have a problem with law enforcement in our little 1.4 million dot of an island. Nothing in this country works. Nothing. So from Manning to Pandey to Kamala to Rowley, jump in, jump out, jump in, stamp. Lesser and lesser evil. Change and exchange. But the police service, a change. The court system, a change. We are secure the nation's borders. We have nothing like a national security plan or a legislative agenda that governs the operation of this country. And there are people on social media playing tits and ass politics and talking shit for shit's sake, instead of standing up and realizing that this little fledgling political party, 1 year and 4 months old, is already dictating the national narrative that has Massey, Grand Massey, answering for the political profiteering stunt, that has KFC putting 4 extra pieces in the bucket trying to get you to come back in the store, that have Keith Rowley answering for Maxi Coffee and Coleman Wood playing hide and seek with the Galleon's Passage. This is a nation that is in trouble because of its government and its opposition. We have been led down a dark and murky path. The people are being abused from within. Our enemies are our leaders. Trinidad and Tobago, nigger coolie politics and fixing that. We're going to bury Morgan Joe, but he was trying to tell all of that. Nigger coolie politics and working for all you. It ain't working for you. It ain't working for you. Because PNM may give you your box drain and Kamala give you your box drain, don't think Kamala is a deity. Because a box drain is worth far less than your vote in what should be the richest country in the world. Trinidad and Tobago shouldn't just be the third wealthiest in the Western Hemisphere. Trinidad and Tobago per capita should be the richest country in the world. Trinidad and Tobago should be running things where methanol and urea and pitch is concerned. Trinidad should be running things in the world where cocoa, honey and pepper is concerned. Little Trinidad and Tobago should be running things #1 tourist destination on planet Earth. If Bali, Bahamas or Virgin Islands had a nylon pool, they'd be celebrating it on the cover of National Geographic. Here, we can't eat it, we can't screw it, so it could starve. If they had the coral reefs that we had, they wouldn't be allowing the pirogue driving glass bottom boats to drag their anchors across it, killing the goose that lay in the golden egg. They'd have a plan. Their tourism master plan would have been 2 and 3 million feet on the ground every year. They would have had multiples of marinas for cruise ship and eco tours. You would have seen people again on the cover of National Discovery Channel talking about Trinidad has the oldest old growth forest in the world. But we full of shit. We the people of Trinidad and Tobago full of shit. My friend Dean Black, I found out today from Sharon Ningwai Pantin that the car that I kept, I saved it to share it at some point because Robert Amar and I talked on Thursday on the radio that the $400 million corruptly given to Calco to build a highway to no freaking where should have been used to dual the Valencia stretch from Wallafield to Sangre Grande and save lives. While we said that on Thursday, a night or two later, a drunk driver slammed into Dean Black, who brought his family across from Tobago and killed Dean's 6-year-old child. Put the other child in critical condition, and Dean and his wife are in hospital fighting for their lives. Fighting for their lives. Because we don't have the compassion and the decency to vote ourselves real leadership. We settle for bullshit. Give me my bullshit racially. Tell me it from a nigger side or a coolie side so I can work with that, because I can't work with nothing else. Common sense don't prevail in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't need issues. I don't need ideas. I don't need plans, programs, and policies. I just need crab in the barrel. I just need to say, we time now. Like Shamford Jackass could you deal with it. Miss running and jumping and playing tennis is sport, so I guess I can be a minister of sport. No, darling, you're born to be a jackass. You need a saddle and a bridle and a farmer to run you. That is what you're born to be. Trust me when I tell you something. You're a jackass of epic proportions, and the only reason you have a job of any kind right now is because Trinidadians so stupid that they've allowed themselves to be separated racially, and now we can't get enough sense to coming out of the rain, and the rain that falling on we is them high up on top pissing down from a height and saying, hey, look one girl in there, piss on me. Poverty in this country is not accidental, it is by design. We have enslaved people by their appetite. We have broken them down to the lowest common denominator. Trinidadians have no hope under the PNM and the UNC. And any chance of it being hopeful at all is an illusion created by spin doctors fed to a compliant media willing to bullshit you for 30 pieces of silver. Not one single person in media in this country has any integrity or character. Possibly Liz Williams, maybe because she's based in Tobago. The rest of them is a pack of jagabats and whores. Porn star Samson Nanton and jackass with class Shelly Das, who used to do her best work on her back. That is her claim to fame, and that is what dictates what passes for information in this country. What Keita Chandler tell you Saturday, the whole of Trinidad and Tobago walking around is a set of mad people now.
It must be the budget that the man call it greed. Cause all of them inside that they like it suck and crazy seed. That kind of hair couldn't come from weed. This is not a pet in here, this is madness. This is not the kind of jam where you stand like a choopy begging for mercy. This is not a pet in here, this is madness. Everybody man, where you go?
21 mad-ass people into the parliament, but you have to be mad to vote it so. You have to be mad to vote it so. I watch mad people outside the parliament. All your teeth, Rowley must go. All your teeth, Rowley must go. And they realize that both of them suffering hungry, doing that for $20 a ham sandwich and passage. They realize that the people they're talking to have money, their money in their pocket. Trinidad and Tobago should be the #1 tourist destination on planet Earth, but it isn't. Trinidad and Tobago should be controlling the global market on pitch, but it isn't. Trinidad and Tobago should be #1 in the world in chocolate and cocoa, but it isn't. Trinidad and Tobago should be a massive controller of shipping in the region, but it isn't. We're nothing. We're nothing. We are a broken third world shithole cesspool of a failed nation narco state. We are a banana republic of class, and we've done it. We are going to bury that. We're going to bury Morgan Job like we bury the rest of them. We're going to bury him with his life leaching out into the ground since he's still alive. The man gave himself pancreatic cancer for Trinidad and Tobago. He suffered himself till he dead. And people still playing nigger coolie politics. Trinidadians going down. They have less. Fewer and fewer have any equity. They own nothing, but they put in spinning rims on car that the bank still own and will own for 6 years. Slip, break your foot, break your toe, break your finger, lost your work. The bank take it. Only playing nigger coolie politics, but you will never own a home. There are people working in the bank who will never qualify for a bank mortgage. Drug money and stolen state money hidden in property in this country by some big pappies that don't give a shit that I know this. They don't care. They consider themselves above the law. You have one chance. You have one chance to fix Trinidad and Tobago, whether you like me or not, or whether you like it or not. There is nobody else and there is nothing else. And I tell you again, and I've said it enough times, and I say it with firm conviction, if the Progressive Empowerment Party does not win the next election, I go on. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. We don't put things in place. I go on. I don't want to be here when that shit hit the fan. You know why? I have worked very hard. I just read that boy's article on me. Since that article was written, we've had 47 Saturday meetings. We've had 17 public meetings. We've had 2 protests, 2 lawsuits, champion massive causes, and have 16 regional corporations right now at different stages trying to decide how to answer that letter. And by the end of this week, it will become 16 police matters. The chief executive officer of each of those corporations should be arrested and charged for misbehavior in public office as outlined by the law of by the Regional Corporation Act and the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And if the Commissioner of Police fails to act, then I am going to say, we are done. It is over. This country cannot be fixed. If we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, continue to accept that, there is a level of insanity when you get to know what these people at the highest levels of public office are involved in. You start to realize this is not a movie. This is a criminal conspiracy run by narcotic barons, money laundering, drug empires, funneling. Listen now, this country spends billions of dollars a year and has nothing to show for it. We are jackasses for accepting that $50 billion was spent on healthcare in the last 10 years. $50 billion was spent on healthcare in the last 10 years, and we have Port of Spain, San Fernando, Mount Hope, and Scarborough to show for it. $21 billion could have bought Haiti. We spent $50 billion on healthcare alone. In the last 10 years, we spent $50 billion on education to turn our children, as Keith Rowley say, Kamlan Keith, Dancy Head Child, Wild hyenas from an African jungle. That's what they call them. Fight and porn, gang violence. The other day I see a video of children walking down the street, I think it was Frederick Street, going to a fight. Like a gang. And somebody asked me, how you so sure the Progressive Empowerment Party could fix it? And I said, because we've done our homework. And we've researched. And we've made contact with international partners who are willing to assist. We have the information that the PNM and the UNC refused to accept international law enforcement help that would have ended the drug trade in Trinidad and Tobago. Imagine waking up in a country where you have a government that is willing to do joint venture exercises for the next 12 months with 5 major global players that shuts down this nation's borders with 24 Coast Guard gunships. Nothing comes in, nothing goes out without a search and a check. Imagine bringing the New York City Police Department Internal Affairs to Trinidad and Tobago and give them the first mandate, clean it. Separate from our police service all of the rogue, corrupt and criminal elements of the police service. The second mandate is operate our internal affairs on contract, rotating contract. We want personnel to change out every 6 to 12 months because this country could have corrupt Christ. We could have made Gandhi ball. Martin Luther King would have forget his dream. This nation, we bad partner, we bad. Don't let nobody fool you, though. Don't let nobody fool you. Don't let me get bullshit on social media that we have nice accents and we happy. We are the murder capital of the world. A couple talking head Uncle Toms will come and tell you they have 2 countries worse than we. Partner, the fact that you have to say that should make you shut up. Our 183 nations, Trinidad is the most corrupt, murderous capital of the world. We have a combination of things wrong with us that are critical. The only thing saving us still is oil is $70 a gallon. And Colin Imbert has to explain to the nation where our US going. Whose cocaine dollars is hoarding our US partner? Where the US currency going? You are the Minister of freaking Finance. Sit with the mother-ass Chancellor of the head of the central bank. Sit down and tell us what is the state of our economy? Factually, not bullshit. That's the lowest inflation in what? People suffering outside there. People in Morvan, Beetham, Lavantil and Sealot suffering, filling the hungry children belly with pap. Every night they swell up and tired and hungry. People committing murder in this country to survive. And you want to come and talk about inflation low? Brother, you really know what you're doing, you know? You really know what you're doing. I don't want to be the one to tell you nothing. Huh? You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. But Marley say when rain fall, it don't fall on one man house. All they know what they're doing.
Tell me what I'm fighting for. What I'm killing for. We don't need no more now. Tell them wicked people, fire up on them. Fire up on them. Oh God, I said this is the end for love. Fire up on them. Fire up on them. Oh, silly boy, you ain't got a gun. Another one just gone. Buy a picture just and smile. Say you're the madman. Another young boy fall. You're so careless.
Prasad Bisesa, you want to be the next Prime Minister. Explain to the people of this country why when you had the power of the Prime Minister's office, you did not secure this nation's borders. Answer for that, Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Save your $500 stunt. Tell the people, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, you want to be the next Prime Minister. Tell the nation why when you had the position, you didn't fix the police service. Basdeo Pandey, you're trotting out your daughter. You're trying to play games to distract people with bullshit. You want to play lesser evil inside the UNC. How come when you was Prime Minister, you didn't fix the police service? You built police station, but the police service corrupt. How come you never secure the borders? You was too busy playing golf. How come you never answer for the money that Dupre gave you to educate your daughters? But that same Dupre get a thief $25 billion from this country. Well, they see you half mad, boy. Keep Christopher Mugabe Sabgaroli, king of the infidels, first black Syrian. Tell Trinidad and Tobago why to this date, despite the fact that Faris Al-Rawi and Edmund Dillon have both said securing the nation's borders is the key to ending crime. Despite the fact that you have said that there have been 30,000 illegal guns in this country that came through our porous borders, you and your band of incompetent infidels have done nothing to secure the borders of this nation. You and your circus clown car of a cabinet have done nothing but distract and fool the people, and it's bullshit after bullshit after bullshit.
Batman is a man who feed and woman and protect the young ones by any means, Lord. Yeah, you know Batman, boy, now. Yeah, you know Batman. Iron Batman that makes his own decisions. You don't need anyone, he only needs God. Yeah, you know Batman, boy, now. Yeah, you know Batman. Stop, sit down, rock back. Tell them I don't need no strength to defend my people from wicked and evil. Oh, stop, sit down, rock back. Big man up for a walk, you're too damn evil. If they distress my people, then fire upon them. Fire upon them. Oh, Lord, I say this is the epilogue. Fire upon them. Fire upon them. Oh, still born no matter what. Tell me what they're fighting for. What they're fighting for. What they're killing for. We don't need no war. There's no need.
Does watching excite you? Come and be a part of this exciting event. Voyeurism, exhibitionists, you are welcome to. We are open from 10 a.m. daily with live shows, 1 p.m., 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. Get listed. WhatsApp or call 772-93-8309. 772-8309. I want to find out what this is about. I know where law enforcement is. Voyeurism. How is that prostitution?
Your call has been forwarded to B-Mobile voice messaging center. 867-772-8309 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished your recording, you may hang up or press stop.
Well, law enforcement. That advertising on social media, this one too. Attractive females needed for work, earn some extra cash, inbox if interested. The picture is called Attractive Women of the Caribbean and Latin America. And the picture is a scantily clad woman lying down on a bed. Where's law enforcement? Where's the cyber crimes unit? Where's anybody to investigate and preemptively strike in a country that the Minister of National Security admitted 2 years ago that 57 of our people were trafficked? He never said where. He never said how he knew. The copy and paste media didn't ask a single question. We still to this day don't know who make up the 57 people who were trafficked and how Edmund Dillon comes to know that. That is information that is important to the conversation. Mr. Commissioner of Police, don't count the days, make the days count. That is what is advertising here. Work in Trinidad, $1,000 minimum per month. Only skinny and attractive women in boxers. Attractive females needed, limited positions. What's that limited position? Guti look back. Sarah Kalipasad found and sent this to me. Why is the police service not protecting our vulnerable and young women? I'm going to follow up this voyeurism thing, and I'm going to find out what that is too. And again, I want to ask, where is law enforcement to protect and serve what? Other people's wives in Grand Bazaar? Come on, man. Tired of the bullshit now. I am tired of the bullshit now. This country is broken. Broken beyond repair. Broken beyond repair. So one of the two police officers dead. Is the other one charged yet with murder? What are we waiting on? What are we waiting on? Today, somebody put this out in the public space, and I had to share it. And it went a little viral. Her name is Simi Isabos. This is what she wrote. Just because I choose not to argue or debate publicly about politics doesn't mean I don't have opinions. It's just been my experience that if you criticize a party, people assume you've sided with the other party. I can vote for PNM and still think they're trash, but the less of two evils. I can vote for UNC and still think they're trash, but the less of two evils. I don't vote based on race or allegiance. I vote based on your policies, performance, and manifesto. And if I vote for the PEP, it's because Phillip Alexander made more sense than both of your parties. At this time, the only party I support is Army Fed. Pull up all your collective socks and don't assume who I vote for based on my complexion, hair texture, or address. Don't give me a cup or jersey or kiss my kids and hand me phone cards. Work for my vote with sustainable policies that we all benefit from, not just you. Don't pave my road the week before elections. Pave it right through the 5 years. Don't give me no copybook with your face where the times table should be. Reform education policies that integrate plans for special needs education. Don't give me a goodie bag from Santa full of junk food for my kids. Let me get some aftercare options that include sport, music, art that's affordable. Work for my vote. Work for it. Don't mama guy me. Work. And I had to share that, and I love it. Sammy, you really is a boss. I heard this on the radio today, and I don't know when last you all heard it, so I'm sharing it.
Gypsy,
Love this song.
you turn on my love light, whatever you want now. Night is the night. Gypsy, know that you got me the way that you want me, so love me tonight. And I want your love so badly.
I heard that on the radio today, but I said, wait, sir, you know how long I hear that? You know how long I hear Gypsy Girl? Anyway, look. We live in a broken country. Think about how easily we could have been living in a first world developed nation. But for the stupidity of us, we the people, accepting the nonsense set forth before us, PLM and UNC, bands of political puppets acting on behalf of the unseen hand, the conspiratorial view of our own history is stark, looking at it front to back, 56 years and $3 trillion. What do we have to show for it? What do we have to show for it? While we were speaking, I get information. 7 people shot in Diego Martin, among them children. Madness. Crazy, crazy times. We're living in a country so badly broken, it is on a path to destruction. We are going nowhere fast and seem to be celebrating the ride. It is time for us to change the game. It is time for us as a people to stand up and demand better. It is time we people of Trinidad and Tobago got more for our votes than 5 years of bullshit. It is time for healthcare that delivers. It is time for education that works. It is time for food independence and affordable cost of living. It is a time for home ownership for all. It is time for a better Trinidad and Tobago where every breed and race could actually have an equal place. It shouldn't be together we conspire, together we deceive. It should be one nation for all.
Your vote will decide our destiny. Your vote will decide what you want to be. Your vote can protect our country's fate. But use it well before it's too late. If it is that who you're voting,
Baby, you're not doubt.
when you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the prove it to be all full of. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the time is now that change should come about, just as how you vote them in, vote them out. Register and vote them out. If they don't see, vote them out. State your finger and vote them out. Show them no mercy, vote them out. Vote them out with total scorn and utter disdain. Let's put our country together again. Vote them out of power to be dictated. Let's put our country together again.
If you're not sharing the video, if you're not posting policies, plans, programs on your Facebook, if you're not engaging people who are obviously talking bullshit by exposing the bullshit to them, if you are not actively seeking a better nation, making sure that you and your family are registered to vote, if you've not involved yourself in a political organization dedicated to a better Trinidad and Tobago, we are all just playing the fool, wasting time and linemen, which is cool. Every now and then we listen to some music, we talk some shit, we call it a night. But if what we want is a better nation, we have to stand up for that. We have to insist on that. We have to say to all of the politicians and political office holders and all of the appointees and all of the public service that the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago that speaks your job into office recognizes me first. That we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, call the shots and we say what we want done. The tail don't wag the dog. And until and if when you are ready to stand up for a better country, it's not going to happen. This bullshit that has been passing for governance in Trinidad and Tobago has only been allowed to pass for governance in Trinidad and Tobago because we've allowed it.
If for 30 years you voting them in, and it's only tears as soon as they win. They give you big words, and enslave your soul, promising your roads and giving the votes. If they are the reason why the economy goes round, when you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the fancy laws that them alone can flout, when you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the building ISOs, east, west, north and south, the same way you vote them in. Vote them out. Register and vote them out. Totally vote them out. State no finger and vote them out. Rescue the country. Vote them out. Vote them out with tempo. They happy in vain. Let's put our country together again. Vote them out with calypso and joyous refrain. Let's put our country together again.
TNT, it is time for a new understanding. One people under one flag means the end of racism. Trinidad and Tobago, it is time for a new understanding. It must be our firm understanding that the function and purpose of government is the well-being of the citizenry. That without that as a purpose or reason, there is no reason for government. That every single person in this country, Trinidad and Tobago, deserves proper representation from government. And if that is not happening, we have a responsibility to vote them out.
If their policy is a policy, bureaucracy, a catastrophe, if they cannot go, and you see it so, then your only hope is for them to go. If it is fabrication, these statements that they spout, when you're voting, vote them out, vote them out. If it is a frustration, just make you want to shout. When you're voting, vote them out, vote them out. Before them is used up, before settle and lace up. If it's you that vote them in, vote them out. Register and vote them out. All of them, vote them out. Take your finger and vote them out. Them on the system, vote them out. Vote them out in Scarborough and in Port of Spain. Let's put our country together again. Vote them out in Comodo and in Lauderdale. Let's put our country together again.
Dave Lux just shared, those who dance are considered mad by those who cannot hear the music, and I love that. Wake up your brothers and sisters. Wake up your family. Mobilize, evangelize, tell them a better day is not coming. A better day is here. Change is not coming. Change is here. You have a political organization, the Progressive Empowerment Party, unfunded, disconnected from the 1%, doing more than the opposition and the government combined. We are making it so that you have an opportunity to stand up together with us for a better country. We need a critical mass. We need a tipping point. We need all 1.4 million people to stand against that parasitic oligarchy and drive them into the sea. It is time to bring to an end the empire of corruption, of narcotics, money laundering, drug trafficking, craziness that have been taking place in this country for the past 56 years under the guise of government and law enforcement. We need to undo and redo Trinidad and Tobago, reboot the republic. We need to get together as one people under one flag and herald in that change.
People must come first, citizens by right. None of we are worse, yellow, black or white. Who shall there at first? Free movement and speech, a garden and roads, and one law for each. If it is that injustice is what they always show, when you're voting, vote them out, vote them out. If it is that avarice is all they seem to know, when you're voting, vote them out, vote them out. If it is their politics, it's just a package show, when elections day come, all bandits must go. Get out, register and if they don't see, fire them, finger and all 41, and the band of comic clubs, the whole vampire system, by your vote, change the nation, a better Trinidad and Tobago for everybody. Get rid of them. Let's put our country together again.
Vote them out. 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 I want somebody with a music truck. I want somebody with a music truck who willing to come and be a part of our organization. I want a music truck. I want to walk the entire country. Let's go to a different community every Sunday from 9 till in the evening and chip down the road. Vote them out. People in the community will provide the food and the drinks. We're doing this together. We will make it one big spiritual awakening, a uniting of the entire nation, all of the people, one people under one flag. If you have the ability to help us, we want a music truck with a good music system. We will walk Trinidad and Tobago. We will wake this nation up. We will take deliverance door by door, home by home, family by family. We will bring the change and invite you to inspire each other to come and join with us as we march in common cause. One family, one tsunami, one orange army, one people under one flag going for a better Trinidad and Tobago. If you want that, stand with us. This Saturday coming at noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue. Bring your friends and family and come. It's always a good time. Come and join us, no matter what's going on. If you find traffic, because every Saturday there's find a reason to cause traffic, leave early, wait it out and come. Come, we're there and we're there for you. Let us build together a better Trinidad and Tobago for all of us. For us to age in, for us to raise our family, our children, our grandchildren, great-grandchildren in. Let us be the generation that they look back to and say, remember when those people stood up and broke the backs of the parasitic oligarchy that bled this nation for 56 years? Remember when the Orange Army marched victoriously into Port of Spain and declared Trinidad and Tobago free at last? Free at last, thank God Almighty, free at last from the clutches of the corrupt, racist, tribal demagogues of the PNM and the UNC. It is time for a better nation. It is time all of our people had opportunities for jobs, home ownership, affordable food, proper health care, and education that got your children ready to transform, to transcend, to launch from a platform into a better, fully actualized, maximized life. You have that power in your finger. You have that power in your vote. Stand with us. Stand together. One people under one flag. This Saturday we meet 19 Stanmore Avenue. 3474 PEP is the hotline. PEP-TT is the website. PEP app, PEP-APP. That's the app. It's available on all the app stores. And it's free. peptrinbago@gmail.com is the central email address. You can send any messages to that. If you have any skills, expertise, finances, anything that you would like to give, donate, lend, whatever to the party, we appreciate it. We need $2,190 to clear the sound system that was donated, that came from New York City. If you would like to contribute $100, $200, the full $2,100, link up Felicia Holder or Satish Ramsaran. It is to pay customs for duty and VAT to clear the PA system. But now, we own our chairs, we own our podium, we're going to be owning our own PA system. Just now, the only thing left to buy is the tents, and we are rally ready to go. The music truck thing are very serious. The farmers, we have 55 acres of farmland, and we are putting together a farm plan. We are going to prove our concept that we can reduce the price of food while making our farmers wealthy and money for the nation. If you're a farmer or would like to get into farming, come early to register this Saturday at noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue. Yes? Until we speak again, stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.